Okay, we're going to get started. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Anne Del Castillo, and I'm the Senior Policy Advisor here at the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. I want to thank everyone for attending today's webinar on organizational development and capacity building. But before we officially kick off the program, I just want to address some general housekeeping items. First of all, can you hear me? Please let us know if any of the presenters are speaking too fast or too softly. You can do that through the chat. Great. The automated closed captioning feature is available for those who wish to use it, but participant mics will be muted throughout the webinar and the raise hand feature will be disabled. Please submit questions through the Q&A feature. We're going to begin the session with opening remarks and then presentations from each of our panelists. After the presentations, we will have our Q&A. Do note this event will be recorded and posted on the NYC Create and Place Resource Hub, where you can view previous programs. We will be posting these links in the chat for you. And finally, I want to remind you that today's session is one in a three-part series. Next session will be on capital financing, followed by a virtual legal resource fair on April 2nd. We will also post the registration links in the chat. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our new Commissioner of the Department of Cultural Affairs, Dia Vich.
Just want to welcome everybody to the kickoff of our NYC Create in Place Spring 2026 series. I'm Dia Vich. I'm the Commissioner of the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs. And for those of you who aren't familiar, we are the largest municipal funder of arts and culture in the country. And are celebrating our 50th anniversary, actually. This is my first week here at the agency, and I'm really excited to be here for the start of this series in particular. Anne has put together this amazing series of webinars with her team. They are small but mighty and are offering a lot of services, resources that, have been kind of opaque historically. NYC Create in Place is a relatively new initiative designed to serve the broader creative community, safeguard the city's cultural infrastructure. I do this by providing technical assistance, resource referrals, and educational programs like this webinar today. And these are specifically for cultural nonprofits and creative small businesses that are at risk of losing their space or interested in acquiring or expanding new space. As we all know very well, our cultural community is completely essential to the city, to the vibrancy of neighborhood life, to the ways that we come together in community through creativity, imagination, joy, beauty. And the sector supports hundreds of thousands of workers, generates billions of dollars in wages, and drives tourism, strengthens our identity, and just has an incredible impact on the economic and social life of the city. We also know that the affordability crisis we're facing here in New York threatens this very sector and threatens our ability to maintain space, to operate space, to stay in place as we build audiences and do this essential work for our neighbors and communities. I am grateful that this administration has put the affordability crisis at the forefront of its agenda, and this webinar series is part of that, part of us understanding how we come together to address this major challenge. I hope that this webinar today offers useful resources and guidance to support you in your work. I want to thank all of our presenters today. For today's session on organizational development and capacity building. As Anne said, this is the first of a three-part series on building creative capacity. I want to encourage everybody to sign up for the others. There should be a link in the chat to sign up for that, as well as a newsletter to receive more information as the program continues. And yeah, just want to thank you all again for joining us and for all of the amazing work that you do. And I'm going to pass it back over to Senior Policy Advisor Anne Del Castillo, who leads NYC Create in Place. So enjoy the session, everybody.
Thank you so much, Commissioner. And so without further ado, I am delighted to introduce our panelists. We have from Harvard Business School Club of New York, Community Partners, which is a pro bono program connecting Harvard Business School alumni with nonprofits to address strategy, governance, operations, and finance challenges across sectors. Grace Park is a strategic advisor to Fortune 500 and growth companies, and managing director of the Community Partners Arts and Culture Committee. Charley Beever is board co-chair of Community Partners, former healthcare management consultant, and current board leader, including board chair at Haverford College, his alma mater. From the Harvard Business Club of New York Small Business Partnership Initiative, which connects HBS alumni with small businesses to provide pro bono strategic guidance and support regional economic growth, we have Bill Moore, longtime Community Partners advisor, former Boston Consulting Group consultant, investor, and software executive, and with an assist from Richard Kane, co-founder of the Small Business Partnership Initiative and a former executive at the American Red Cross of Greater New York and leader in financial services. From the Department of Small Business Services, we have Kitty Chan, Department of Small Business Services, which supports job creation, small businesses, and neighborhood growth across New York City. Kitty Chan is the Deputy Commissioner of Business Services at SBS, overseeing business support programs citywide. And then finally, from the Mayor's Office of Nonprofit Services, which strengthens collaboration between NYC government and nonprofits through improved contracting and capacity building, we have Jenny Way, who's the Deputy Director of Contracting, with a 20-year NYC government veteran and procurement expert who led major initiatives, including the HHS Accelerator and Passport programs. So thank you all for joining us today. And we are going to start with Grace Park.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Anne. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Grace Park, and I am a Managing Director of Community Partners, program of the Harvard Business School Club of New York. I'm also privileged to be the liaison to New York City's Create and Place program, a partnership that we began last fall. Let me start by providing a quick overview of Community Partners. So we are a 20-plus year program of the Harvard Business School Club of New York, and our mission is to facilitate partnerships between HBS alumni and nonprofit organizations in the greater New York City metropolitan area that seek assistance with business and management issues. We have a diverse pool of 10,000 plus alums in the area, and we're motivated by the opportunity to serve the communities we both live and or work in a truly meaningful way. On the right, you'll see 3 types of pro bono engagements. The first, a traditional consulting project that's scoped with clear objective and deliverables, typically lasting between 3 and 4 months. We assemble a team, and the project lead works closely with your executive director and staff of the nonprofit, outlining the project plan with milestones for both an interim and final presentation. What I want to stress is that we focus on actionable recommendations. This is not a study that will collect dust on a shelf. This will provide specific go-dos the very next day. Brainstorming sessions typically occur for 2 hours with 4 or more alums, ideally in person, although we have held these virtually as well. They're guided by an experienced moderator, and the discussion is focused on a well-defined challenge or opportunity. Within a couple of weeks of the session, the client receives a written report summarizing the session, and often, which is the case with all of these types of projects, there is follow-on work. Office hour consults came about during the pandemic. These are purely virtual sessions. They're 1-hour Q&A calls that are conducted with 2 community partner volunteers on a topic of the client's choosing. For example, a review of a board presentation, just as one example. Next slide, please. So we've helped nonprofits in a variety of ways, spanning from governance projects, HR and organizational challenges, finance and operations, marketing and strategy. Next slide, please. Some of our more recent clients are noted here on this page. organized by sector-focused committees. I sit on the Arts and Culture Committee, but we also have an Education, Environmental and Health, and Social Services Committee. Our impact is measured through post-project surveys. 98% of our nonprofit clients said our team's work met or exceeded expectations, and 100% would recommend our work to other nonprofit leaders. I'll read just a couple of the verbatim quotes from clients on the right, starting in the middle of the page. Community partners assembled a first-rate group of MBAs with diverse and relevant backgrounds. We are in the process of implementing many of their ideas. And just one more quote that I'll share. What an amazing opportunity to sit, think, listen, and innovate with professionals who've been doing this work for years. So I'll try to bring this to life with a real example. So Juilliard has been a long-standing client in that we've conducted multiple projects with them over the years. And for this traditional consulting project, we had assembled a team to expand the reach of their K through 12 offering. And the feedback from Juilliard's Chief Operating Officer, Leslie Rosenthal, includes comments about the discovery process, how the team challenged the staff to reflect and articulate its programming, its brand power, and the ways it's unique within the K through 12 space. Team members generously provided personal contacts and boldly cold called perfect strangers as they surveyed the field and conducted market research. And ultimately, Juilliard is grateful to community partners for their commitment to broadening access to quality arts education and for the business insight and love that they and their team members have lavished on Juilliard. Now, this is a typical HBS Community Partners team. You can see that we have a lot of fun when we get together and conduct one of these projects. And I'll sum up on why work with us. We are motivated and passionate volunteers. Volunteers apply for these projects because the mission of the organization resonates with them in some way. We have proven and actionable impact, which is demonstrated through our repeat rate with our clients. There is access to Harvard Business School beyond just the Community Partners program, in that we award scholarships to nonprofit leaders for an executive education program. And it's helpful that we sit in close proximity. All the leaders are in the New York City metro area. And so that makes it a lot nicer to meet in person rather than virtually. What we expect from our clients: tax exempt status, of course, that you're local and active in the New York City metropolitan area, an annual budget of $500,000 for consulting, $250,000 for brainstorming, and 3 full-time or equivalent staff. And very importantly, a commitment from the organization to work with us closely. We have links to our site if you have any additional questions. I look forward to potentially working with all of you, and I will turn it back over to Anne to introduce the next panelist.
Thank you so much, Grace. And now I'd like to welcome Bill Moore from HBS Small Business Partnership Initiative.
Thanks. I assume everyone can hear me. I am an HBS alum and as well, and the co-chair of a program that was created during COVID to help and coach small businesses in the New York metro area. What's the mission of the program? It's the Small Business Partnership Initiative program. We support small businesses in the area by taking our skills and experiences that we garnered in business school, but also more importantly in the real world, and we apply it to aid small businesses in their success and future growth. The businesses can be very early stage, as we put it, just kind of getting started, or they can be more established, not necessarily profitable yet, but growing or facing challenges that we can then lend some perspectives on. The way this program works, I know this is a detailed slide, I'll just cover it quickly. We have alumni volunteers that reach out and engage and coach with small businesses. The way the small businesses let us know they're interested is we have a technology platform and a link that allows a small business to sign up if they're interested in our services, and then we follow up with them and get a coaching project started. The coaching project could be with one alum or maybe a couple HBS coaches working in collaboration. And typically, each engagement involves 1 to 3 conversations of about 45 minutes or so, or maybe longer, where we focus on one particular, identify and then focus with the entrepreneur on one particular issue or challenge that's pretty prominent for the entrepreneur to kind of work through it, give our perspectives, maybe do a little bit of homework and then discuss it. But the process has a beginning and an end, 1 to 3 coaching sessions. And then we promote what we do through partnerships with small business advocates within the municipality of New York City and other establishments that cater to small business and supporting them. Next slide, please. We have touched and coached roughly, it's probably more than this now, but 600 plus small businesses to date. We have very high feedback from our very positive feedback from the small businesses we've coached. For those of you who are familiar with the Net Promoter Score measure of satisfaction, we get top quartile scores. We get very close to perfect scores on the overall coaching experience. This is all based on questionnaires that we get back from entrepreneurs we've coached about the experience. And the usefulness of our recommendations are I guess, pretty efficacious based on the feedback we get. We also do group presentation tutorials, some through the City of New York, through various programs, and those also get high ratings. That's not the focus of what I'm touching on today, but I just wanted to make you aware of those kinds of services we provide as well. Next slide. So here's another version of a testimonial page where we have comments that we've received from clients on the left, and then also from our volunteers, our HBS alumni volunteers, just to give you a sense of how much we get out of these coaching engagements and how it motivates us to do more. And we're motivated by just the fact that we can share our experiences and expertise in this way. So in sum, I really encourage you to think about and give a try to these coaching services. The presentation I just gave that will be circulated, or at least available for download later, has a link on, I think, the second page of this presentation, as well as this thank you page, that you can click on, which will take you to a very short, easy to complete survey that, if you hit send, will then prompt a response from us and start the process to get you coached. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Bill. And yes, we will be sharing the materials from this session in addition to links to the recording. So thank you again. And now I'd like to welcome up Kitty Chan to present on Department of Small Business Services. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say thank you, first of all, to all the panelists here. I am really proud to say that we work closely with all of them. And this is a really great, impactful group. And so I hope folks that are on this webinar really take advantage of this group that's presenting today. So I'm Kay Chan. I'm Deputy Commissioner of Small Business Services at the New York City Department of Small Business Services. Quite the mouthful. And can I go to the next slide? And if you could just click for me for a second, Isaac, because there's something pops up afterwards. Just a little click. There. Okay. So a lot of folks don't really know too much about the New York City Department of Small Business Services, but there are actually 4 main program pillars that make up our agency. Because when we help a small business, it's not just the business services. So I like to think that I'm the most important one in the group. I'm not. Because to help a business, we actually have to support the workers, we support the business, we have to support the neighborhoods as well as the economy overall. So to do that, our 4 main pillars are our workforce development division. They will actually do a little great. We run the 18 Workforce One centers throughout the city. Then we have our division of business services, which is mine. We have our 7 business solution centers and 9 industrial business service providers on top of all these other wonderful programs that we manage. Then we have our neighborhood development division that works with the 78 business improvement districts throughout the city. And then finally, but not any less important, is our division of economic and financial opportunity that works to ensure that people have access and a seat at the table. And when we say that, we're talking about MWB certification, as well as access to the directory and capacity building, as well as teaching you how to sell to government. So that's actually the whole programmatic core of SBS, but I'm going to just focus in on me for a second. And so next slide, Isaac, thank you. Our business solution centers is one of our gateways into our services, and through our business solution centers you would meet with an account manager we provide our business courses. Through the business solution centers, we actually offer about 1,000 courses a year on various topics. We also have in some of our other programming more focused business education, like our fast track program, which is 10 sessions over 5 weeks. We have our incentives program through our industrial business service providers. So if you are an industrial business looking to move or expand, you might be eligible for an incentive, and we can actually talk you through seeing, using our incentives calculator, what you might be eligible for. We offer various trainings through our industrial partnerships, pro bono legal services, including pro bono commercial lease assistance. I'm going to touch on navigating government later, as well as selling to government. Also, financing assistance. We actually will work with you. Our account managers work with for-profit businesses to make sure that they are actually not only aware of the products out there, but really what is best for them. There's been many a time where I've heard a business, oh, I need $200,000, but you just really may not need that, right? And so one of the great things that our account managers do is they actually work with the business owners, really work with them about what are the expenses, what's the revenue, if here are the different loan products that are out there, what can a business sustain, and what type of loan can they sustain? Maybe it isn't the 200,000, maybe it's a $50,000 loan. They'll also be aware of any grants that may be out there and make sure that the business owner knows about them. So I'm going to leave the other bullets because I'm going to touch on them later on. But I would have to say that this again is our gateway that actually can lead to a lot of our other programming. And with that said, Isaac, please, next slide. Which is our business service NYC Business Express service team, NYC Best. because we love our acronyms over at SBS. So this is a really great team. They're made up of small business advocates as well as compliance advisors. If you come into our system, a small business advocate will work with you to understand all the rules and regulations that you need to follow. Will help you walk you through the permitting process. If you decide you'd like to, they can actually help set you up with a compliance advisor. Our compliance team is made up of all former inspectors. So let's just say you're opening up a restaurant, right? You're going to be inspected by DOHMH, DOB, FDNY, DEP, possibly DCWP. Again, we love our acronyms, but these are all regulatory agencies that we, our sister agencies that we partner with. And what we want to do is make sure that it's education first. So this team is really engaged in making sure you understand the rules, the regulations, but as well as how you need to comply with them. So our compliance advisors can give consultations to make sure that your location, your setup will pass inspection. So I've got some really great stories to tell you about that, including people that were shut down, and then when they were re-inspected, they came back with an A. And that's really important. So I hope that you think about, if you are contemplating opening a business, tapping into this particular service. And then next slide. So as I said, if you are at the stage where you're open, but now I want to hire people, we actually do that as well at SBS. So again, we have our 18 Workforce One centers that work with business to help them recruit. We've helped many businesses that are opening to hire new staff. And then there are a lot of training programs that are actually connected through our Workforce One centers that you may not be aware of. I really strongly encourage you. I'm more than happy to put my email address in the chat if anyone would like to reach out and learn more about this, including our customized training grant. So if a business is looking to implement new software or possibly a new process, and then they may be eligible up to a reimbursement of 60% of their training costs, up to $250,000. There are some requirements, such as there's a worker wage gain attached to it. But again, happy to include my email address and talk to anyone about it. I love talking about my programs. With that said, next slide, please. And one of the most important things I think that we do here is, I don't know how many people are familiar with the MWB process, right? But really what we do is we actually work on certification. You may be eligible to certify for MWB, but there's also other certifications out there, such as state veteran-owned disabled business certification, EBE. There's a lot of them out there. What we do through our Apex Accelerator is to ensure that you know what's out there and available to you. And then once you do get your certification, that you're actually eligible to actually go out and get government contracts. So we work with you on your capacity building, as well as making sure that you understand how you should actually apply for government contracts. We have a number of really excellent workshops through our Apex Accelerator, so I really hope that some folks take advantage of that. And with that said, that was really an SBS in a nutshell. Happy to talk to anyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kitty. There is so much. I mean, we could do a whole session on SBS, I feel like, and maybe we should talk about that too. Just a reminder to everyone that if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A, and we will address them after all of the presentations are concluded. And now I am delighted to bring up Jenny Way, Deputy Director of Contracting at the Mayor's Office for Nonprofit Services.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you for having me, and thank you for bringing us all together today. Hey, nonprofits, how you doing? I hope I have some friends here today. I've been supporting nonprofit partnerships with New York City agencies for 18 of my 20 years in city government, so I hope I have worked with some of you in the past. I love working with Department of Cultural Affairs and with SBS because they make us all look so good. They get funds out to support your work quickly once grant selections have been made. most New York City agencies have to use a different model of engaging services called procurement. So if your organization has received discretionary funding through other agencies, or if your organization provides services to New Yorkers, such as after-school senior services, health, or other social services, you may have experienced the contract registration process. And if you know, you know. So what we all know is that nonprofits are the backbone of New York City's community safety net. They're there when families are in crisis, when kids and older adults need care, and when individuals experiencing homelessness need housing. And they're there to build the fabric of community connections, expression, joy. For too long, nonprofits have done this vital work while facing delays in city contracts and payments and disparate experiences working across the 18 different agencies that they need to work with. So again, going back to the alphabet soup that Kitty talked about. Mons was created to change that, and we're thrilled to be the first office to be reauthorized in Mayor Mamdani's executive order 2. We serve as a bridge between nonprofits and city agencies, making our systems faster, fairer, and more responsive, all while bringing a customer service mindset to how we work with our nonprofit providers. Next slide. So we achieve this through performance management, partnerships, reform, capacity building, and culture change. We stay busy. We relaunched our metrics, our performance metrics called Provider Payment Pulse, which is a data dashboard that helps agencies spot delays and issues in how the city handles our contracts. To hear directly from nonprofits, we also send out a quarterly survey to human service providers. And that provider sentiment survey is actually out now for our Q3 for New York City. So please let us know how we're doing. If you work with, if you have contracts, we want to hear how the agencies, how your experience has been in partnering with them. So I'll give you the link at the end of this, and you have until tomorrow to respond. So please, if you have 5 minutes, we'd love to hear from you. We also work with city leadership to modernize contracting policies, advance equitable funding models, and eliminate structural barriers for nonprofits. So, for example, last year we worked with OMB to fill 183 staff vacancies at city agencies to help nonprofits get paid on time. Our team responds to nonprofit inquiries in real time. So whether it's late payments, audit issues, contract amendments, or insurance documentation, you can reach out to us and we'll assist you to get where you need to go. We serve as a reliable partner to nonprofits, helping you deliver critical services to New Yorkers without disruption. We also partner with chief nonprofit officers at each agency to resolve these issues and address your concerns. And so generally, they make sure our critical partnerships with you all are centered in agency decision-making and communication. So they're really key partners for us. Next slide. I wanted to, that one, yes. So I wanted to give you a little flavor of the things that we are working on. In the past year, since we've really kind of bulked up this team, Mons has been busy. So I just want to highlight a couple things on this slide that are coming up. So with the partnership of MOX, the law department, and the controller's office, we conducted a limited pilot this year using a grant model similar to what the Department of Cultural Affairs uses, but at other agencies to pay discretionary awards that are under $25,000. All those payments have now gone out with the exception of maybe like 10. So that's record time for discretionary contract processing. We are thrilled to be expanding the pilot this year to all agencies and discretionary awards under $25,000. So again, if you do get money from the City Council, look forward to a much faster process coming up this year if it's a small award. As you can also tell, we're committed to a culture of partnership. And one of the things we do every year is celebrate the folks who are doing amazing work in collaboration through the Excellence in Human Service Delivery Awards. We'll be launching the nomination process in the spring, and we will invite you to nominate New York City staff who go above and beyond to support you. And we'll also be asking New York City staff to nominate nonprofits who do amazing work for the city. And so this culminates in our nonprofit week in the summertime and an awards ceremony at Gracie Mansion, at least last year. This year, I think it's under construction, so we'll have to find another amazing place for that. Maybe I'll call Ann. But please look out for the nomination process. It's a pretty rigorous, review process of paneling, and making sure that we're really highlighting, just like incredible people who are doing work for New Yorkers. And then I'll just close, if you go to the next slide, by encouraging you to take advantage of all the resources shared here with you today and specifically Mon's resources and upcoming training and capacity building opportunities. So you can use your camera on this QR code to get to our link tree, and it has links to everything that we've got going on. Right now, applications are open for our 5th cohort of Nonprofit Essentials, which is a 10-session training series that helps small nonprofits get contract ready, similar to like Fast Track that Kitty was talking about at SBS, but specifically for nonprofits. And so, I encourage you to get that application link in the link tree. And the deadline's tomorrow, so you don't have a lot of time. But if you're interested, it's an opportunity to join the next cohort. Our LinkedIn and Instagram handles are also in the link tree, and that's a great way to keep up with all our news, resources, and opportunities to collaborate. And our website, newyorkcity.gov/nonprofits, contains a library of capacity building resources and a way to contact us if you need help resolving a contract or a payment issue. Again, we have about 80 of these inquiries open at any given time. We promise we will get you where you need to go. Don't hesitate to reach out to us. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenny. And thank you to all of our panelists, actually. We can pull down the slideshow presentation so that we can have a more open discussion. I do want to really thank all of our panelists that have participated. You've been wonderful partners for Create in Place in particular, and it's been a wonderful opportunity to learn a little bit more about you. We do have some questions in the chat, and if you have other questions, please add them to the chat. Just to let everybody know, we will be posting a recording of this session afterwards, along with the materials that have been presented. There was also a question that was answered offline, but I think would be helpful to address in this forum. There was a question about why the Harvard Business School programs requires 3 full-time staff, particularly for cultural organizations in the lower end of budgets. You require that's a level of staffing that is unusual. Much of the budget is spent directly on engaging artists, such as independent contractors. So if you could address that, Charlie.
Yeah, I can take that. I did respond in writing. First of all, it's a good question and one that we debate internally and have over the years. I think you heard that Grace mentioned that we very much try to focus on actionable recommendations and on actions that our clients can take to address whatever issues we've been helping them with. And our experience over the years is that organizations that don't have at least some staff, and we've settled on 3 at the moment, have difficulty, 1, engaging and working with us effectively, and 2, following through with recommendations that come out of the work we do together. So it's primarily for that reason that we have established that limit. It's that we want to make sure that the advice that we provide is effectively implemented. Having said that, we are a flexible enough organization that we have made exceptions to our hard and fast rules, and we'd encourage anyone who is interested and recognizing the concern about follow through bandwidth, thinks that they can manage that, to contact us and have a chat, because again, we're not a monolith, and we are anxious to engage with with whoever we can potentially help.
That's great. Thank you. There's another question. Someone asking about specific resources available for creative small businesses. We presented a number of them here, but if there are specific examples maybe that some of the organizations represented can speak to, that would be helpful.
Yeah, maybe I can start there. The Small Business Partnership Initiative has, I could cite immediately, 2 sets of resources. One, we have a resource library with a bunch of different papers and perspectives on key topics that small businesses, whether they're outside of the arts or within the arts, have found useful. They're based on kind of our cumulative experience and what kinds of questions and challenges pop up. Everything from how to create a business plan to how to find funding, which of course the city of New York also has lots of programs to address with you, and we sometimes are involved with as well. But there are lots of topics, and when we coach you, if one of these resource library resources is relevant, we'll share it with you. These are things that we don't just kind of hold close to our chest. So that's kind of the main resources. And then also we can, just extemporaneously as we go through a coaching exercise, there may be other things that we're aware of or that we can pull together that would be helpful. Also, I'll very quickly say there was a second thing for organizations that we would consider startups, meaning you're potentially working on the entrepreneurial endeavor part-time. You're not generating any revenue yet. It's very early in the process of forming the small business, but you're definitely on your way. We have separate resources that we share that are just focused on some of the challenges at that stage. One I mentioned already, business planning, but then also some other topics and subject matter that could help facilitate how you think through building a firm foundation on something that's just getting started.
It's very helpful. Go ahead.
And if you don't mind, I'm going to make a shameless plug because I can. So every year, SBS hosts our Small Business Expo in May. I will send Anne the details so she can share it out. I'm really happy to say last year we had 155 resource tables. Some of the folks that other panelists here were actually at some of those tables. We had a number of really great workshops. We had hands-on services that day, including pro bono legal services. We had over 3,000 people attend. And I expect we're going to get bigger and better this year. So I really hope you join us if you're interested in learning more about resources in New York City for small businesses.
That's great. Thanks, Kitty. There was another question, and I'm not, someone wants to know when the answers will be sent for those who applied for cohort 5.
So if Kelly, you're talking about nonprofit essentials, so we've got to review all the applications to make sure they meet the requirements for the criteria. So I'm guessing that'll take us at least a few weeks after they close on Friday. So stay tuned.
Great. And Bill, your comments may have already addressed this, but just in case, I am the founder of a startup, and right now we are 3, me, a co-founder, and a full-time employee. Does that count as 3, although the co-founder and I don't have income?
Well, the 3 criteria are really more for community partners work. For us and small businesses, it can be a half a person, right? If you're just working on something part-time, that's not even a full person in a technical sense. So we don't have any kind of limit in number of people involved with the business.
Got it. Great. There was another question about reaching out to the community partners since the organization doesn't have 3 employees or the required budget. I don't know if you want to take that, Grace or Charlie. It sounds like there is some flexibility.
Yes, absolutely. On the last page of our presentation, which I know will be distributed to everyone, you'll see links to our website as well as an application process. Asking for more information, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to talk to you and see how we may be able to work together.
Yes, and we've been including links to all of the organizations represented here on the chat, along with links to the registrations for the future webinars over the next couple of weeks. What types of projects does HBS support cultural nonprofits with through consulting? Would strategic planning be a project you could take on?
Yeah. We've been in business for 30 years with community partners, maybe 25 to 30. And we've done a large number of arts and culture projects over the years. Organizations that are in teaching art in schools, artists themselves, and so on. It's a very diverse set of clients that we've picked up. Strategic planning is clearly one of the categories that we are asked about a lot. The issue is that a strategic plan done from scratch on an empty canvas is very hard to do in the 3 or 4 months that we look to complete a project in. So unless there's a previous plan that needs to be updated, we would tend not to want to do a strategic plan from scratch. What we do when we're asked for that is pick out a part of a strategic plan that's important to the process. And we say, let's work on that. And when we're done with that project, we can do another project. And so over time, we could work on a full strategic plan, but not as a single project.
To give you a quick example, and it wasn't a full-scale consulting project, but to be able to provide strategic advice around something as simple as messaging, around refining a value proposition, what do we stand for as an organization, and what is our unique advantage in the marketplace so that we can obviously increase donor interest. That is a type of project that we would gladly do and would enjoy doing. And in fact, through Anne, we received a referral not that long ago where we helped the Climate Museum. And I don't know if Miranda's on the call, but while it wasn't a full-scale consulting project, there was strategic advisory work involved.
That's great. There was a question about, I think oh, sorry, can you hear me? Okay. There was a question about applying for the cohorts, Jenny.
Yes. So really it's about kind of getting contract ready. If you have a grant, that is a different process. And so you would be welcome to join the cohort for Nonprofit Essentials.
There's some, okay. And then if you could explain in a little bit more detail the Nonprofit Essential Training opportunity.
Sure. So it's going to be a 10 session training series. Again, like really kind of talking about all of the things that you will need to have in place to successfully contract with the City of New York. So we're going to talk about how you're positioning your services and how to connect that with city programs. We're going to talk about your legal structure and making sure that you're in compliance with all of the requirements for filings with the Charities Bureau, the IRS, et cetera, right? We're going to talk about the city systems like Passport, FMS, PIP, like the things that you have to be enrolled in and have accounts and how to manage those accounts. We're even going to go into like marketing, what are some tips for your organization and, sharing your services to the community, because that's often part of our contract is actually getting participants right into your program. So it's really like the whole like panoply of things that nonprofits need to be able to do to be successful contract partners. And financials, how could I forget, right? Like financial management is a big part of it as well.
There is a question about timing for the HBS programs, whether there's a deadline for application or if it's rolling. I could answer that, but I will leave it to you to answer that.
Yeah, it's rolling. Exactly right. Apply anytime and we'll meet with you.
Yeah, ditto for the Small Business Partnership Initiative. The enrollment form is always open.
Right.
There's also a question for non-English or English as a second language speaker looking for guidance in Chinese. Their organization is very active and hope to have an opportunity to broaden their work. So we can see if we can get some of these materials translated. But if any of you already have them ready translated, that would be very helpful to share.
I
Other
don't have
questions?
an answer, but I do want to say like translation services, like we will figure out how to make those available. So if you do contact us, we will figure that out.
The only thing I'll add is that the enrollment form for small businesses, you can pick what language. We offer Mandarin in two forms, Spanish and English.
That's great. Thank you. For a small business, do you need to already be an LLC?
No. Oh, I'm sorry for them.
For any of you, I think.
No, and one of the great things that we have are we can actually connect you with pro bono lawyers to talk to you about what entity formation makes the most sense for you, because it's complicated and every business is like a flower and very different. So I would recommend that if you haven't decided what entity you would like to form, please reach out to us. We'll connect you to a pro bono lawyer.
Or you can join the Legal Resources
Oh yeah.
virtual webinar that we have in 2 weeks.
By the way, all those folks I know too. So
I know, Kitty,
please
a lot of the organizations that we're working with have been vetted by you, and so thank you for that. Um,
Oh, you brought us all together, Anne, so thank you.
I have some other questions that have come up. Um, what's one mistake you see organizations making when applying for support from any of your organizations?
I think the biggest mistake I've seen is that they don't ask, right? And I think that one of the things that you can see here, which Anne has done beautifully over this series, is that we are all partners with each other. And if we can't help you, we can connect you with someone who can help you. So there is no problem that's too big or too small. Just let us know. And I think that that's one of the things I've seen is that people don't come and tell us everything they need. And it is just tell us and we will help you. I guarantee it. And I think I can say the same for everyone else on this call.
Yeah, and for the creatives here, we are happy to be Create in Place is happy to be the first line of defense or inquiry, if you will. If you are having trouble navigating, trying to figure out where to go, we're happy to provide that navigation for you. That's exactly what we're here for. Any other questions? Oh, looks like two more might have popped up. Let's see. Oh, okay. There's another question about the discretionary funds. We've been awarded discretionary funds and we're having a challenge in finding a school to use the grant. That might be a more personal.
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, please reach out to me or to, basically on our website, you'll find a form for contact us, but we really do that's integrated into our work and we're going to get back to you right away. Because public schools does have a chief nonprofit officer. And so we would connect you with them, and make sure that you're in communication with the folks who can guide you in the right direction.
Okay. And then we're going to do, let me just make sure. Yeah, there's one more question. We can take one more question and then we will close, but we will be sharing contact information. And so if you have follow-ups, we can certainly respond that way. Last question was, we create community-based art education programs and we're currently paying for space in the East Village to run our pilot classes. Since our company goal is to grow local communities through art education and our targets are local community art centers, do you have suggestions or can you help me connect with these community spaces? Sounds like a Create in Place program, but if Jenny or Kitty or anyone else on the call has some ideas, and then otherwise, Paul, I'm happy to follow up with you more directly. Okay. I just thank you so much for this really informative panel. It was really great to learn. I actually learn from these sessions as well. So thank you to all of you. Like I said, we will be sharing materials and posting a recording of the session once the series is over. To get updates on future programs, you can sign up for the Department of Cultural Affairs newsletter at nyc.gov/culture, or follow us on social at NYC Culture. And I want to post these, let's post these links for you again to either register for upcoming sessions or sign up for future or sign up for help from NYC Create in Place. And with that, we will close out this session. And thank you again to our panelists and to all of you for everything you're doing to support the creative community here in New York. Okay.
Thanks so much for organizing.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank
thanks
you.
for organizing it. It's great.
Take care.
Have a
Great.
great
Bye,
day,
and good
everyone.
luck.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.